am I? For thou callest me. And he said, I call not, lie down again. And he went and lay down. And Yahweh called yet again, Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou dost call me. And he answered, I call it not, my son. Lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know Yahweh, neither was the word of Yahweh yet revealed unto him. And Yahweh called Samuel again the third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou dost call me. And Eli perceived that Yahweh had called the child. And therefore Eli said, Samuel, go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Yahweh, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Okay? And Yahweh came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Spake, for thy servant heareth. So he was being summoned by Yahweh. And so if you go on, I'm going to skip what happened. I'm going to go to verse 15. It says, And Samuel lay until the morning and opened the doors of the house of Yahweh. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. So as it states, that Yahweh said that he would show him in visions and in dreams. So I'm going through the book to show you that it's true. He came to 1 Samuel. He said that there was, at that time, that the word of Yahweh, and that there, it says, there was no open vision. And they said, where there's no vision, the people perish. So when he got this vision, you can go and read what he said, okay? I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to now, I want to go to 1 Kings and show you that it happened the same thing to Solomon. 1 Kings, chapter 3. Yeah, I want to show you the same thing happened to Solomon. Yahweh didn't speak to anybody like he spoke to Moses. He said he would. I want to show you this book is well structured. It says, in Gibeon, Yahweh appeared to Solomon, and I'm at 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 5. In a what? Dream by night. Then he said that it would be in a vision or a dream. And Elohim said, Ask what I shall give thee. See, so he asked Solomon, what shall I give thee? But he asked him in a dream, in a vision, in the night. Now, what I want you to go to Job chapter 33, to show you that this goes through the whole book, how Yahweh communicates to his people. 33:15. 33, Job 33:15. 33:15. What does it say?
In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instruction.
Now you see that? This is how he gets it. So we can see that it follows through the book. And I'm going to show you that all through the prophecy is done just that way. It's a vision, it's the word. Like he told, he would put the words in the mouth of the prophet. Now that doesn't stand in what they call the New Testament. It didn't say that Paul had a vision. It didn't say that Paul was carrying the word of Christ or Yahweh. It didn't say that. It stops there. So I'm saying that when Yahweh has told us how something is constructed, then it keeps us from making errors. If you have to learn how a person is giving you their own ideas. Well, don't you think that God needs an organization. Did God tell you he needs an organization? Or you saying he needs one? Tell me what God said. Are you saying you're a Jehovah's Witness or Seventh-day Adventist, or did God say, did Yahweh say? Even they can't find nothing in this book that makes them a Jehovah's Witness. They made themselves that. But they're always trying to prove that Israel don't exist. Or Israel don't exist. Well, prove it through the book we don't exist. When he said we'll make a new covenant. And I shall yet choose Israel. And they will return. What does that mean? Past, present, and future. So it says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men, and sealed their instruction. And didn't he do that to Solomon? Didn't he do that to Samuel? Yes, he did. We're reading it. So, when we know these things, and we understand now, let us go and start at Jeremiah or Isaiah. Let's start at Jeremiah, Isaiah. No, Jeremiah, we're going to start at Isaiah. And we're going to see that Isaiah chapter 1, what does it say? Because he's already said how he would make it known. And the book should speak of it. What does it say?
The vision of the
Okay, of the vision of Isaiah, go on.
The son of Amos,
Yeah.
which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah.
Okay, so this was a vision. And then he said that he would make it known. He said, I will make myself known unto him in vision and dream. So this is right. So let us go to Jeremiah. Let's see, does it hold up? Because if it's wrong, it's wrong. Let's let the book tell the story. Because if the book don't tell the story, then I'm wrong. I'm wrong. One sister told me, well, the prophets didn't come to everybody. They just came to Israel. I said, that's not true. I said, that's not true. They came to everybody. Okay, so let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2.
Beginning?
Chapter 2.
All right. Moreover, the words of Yahweh.
No, Jeremiah chapter 2. No. Chapter 1, verse 2. I'm sorry.
To whom the word of Yahweh came in the days of Josiah.
Okay, so it said, to whom the word of Yahweh came in the day of Josiah. See, and you go up to verse 1, it says the words of Jeremiah the son. And then if you go down, you'll find out that it is the words that Yahweh, because Yahweh said that he would put his word, he would give the word, and that they would speak his word. You understand what I'm saying? But it says down at verse 7, you can 6, it says, then said I, Yahweh Elohim, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But Yahweh said unto me, this is God saying something. Now, if Yahweh didn't say it, it's wrong. The book is wrong. Because they're saying that God said this. This is his word. This is what makes the authenticity of the Bible real. Because it is the word of God, not the word of Isaiah or Jeremiah. If it's Jeremiah, Isaiah, then it's debatable. But if it's the word of Yahweh, then there's no debate concerning it. You have to go and talk it over with him. And I'm talking about this is the word of Yahweh. This is not the word of the prophets. Now, let's go to Ezekiel. And remember, look up. It says the books of the prophets. It's telling you the book of the prophets. They're telling you what it is. If we go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 3, what it says? Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 3. Okay? Yes.
It says, the word of Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel.
So it was the word of Yahweh. And Yahweh said that if he raised a prophet, that he would put his words in his mouth. So these were the words of Yahweh. It wasn't the words of the prophet. No. No. And it says it was the prophecy. It tells you it was prophecy. And when it talks about it, this says the book of Daniel. It didn't say Daniel was a prophet. That's right. They tell you exactly what it's about. And see, even in Hosea, let's go into Hosea. What does it say in Hosea chapter 1 to show you? It goes through the whole book, or else it'd be wrong. That's how you prove it or disprove it. Now, when we go into the New Testament, none of it says that God told him to say that. We're at the very first part of the book. Hosea chapter 1, verse 1. Okay, the word of Yahweh that came unto Hosea. See, so the word was Yahweh's word. He put the words in his mouth. So when people tell you or confront you, then confront them and tell them, say, look, tell me how you know who you are in this book. Because I can show you that this book belongs to me. Joel, what does it say in Joel chapter 1, verse 1? The word of Yahweh that came to Joel. See? Yeah. It's the same thing. You're going to see it all through the book. It ain't going to change. It is not going to change. It's going to go through the whole book. These are the words of Yahweh. These prophets did not speak their words. And this is what I want to show you. Because it would make no sense. That's right. It wouldn't make no sense. I want to show you that you're dealing with the divine book of Yahweh. Now, Amos, it says, Amos chapter 1, verse 3. Thus said Yahweh. See? So, these are the words of Yahweh. And he said, Yahweh will roar from Zion. See? And utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the inhabitants of the shepherds shall moan, and the top of Carmel shall wither. Thus said Yahweh. So this is what Yahweh said. This is what Yahweh said. Let them wrestle over it. It's for us to know. We got to know, not believe. Let them believe. A believer is not a knower. You understand? So we want to go into what they call the New Testament. Whether it's to the gospel or whatever, it never said that, and we'll start at the beginning, and to prove to you that it doesn't hold how it said that the Old Testament was structured. The New Testament is not structured that way. And you got to understand something very important. You got two languages being translated into one. You got Hebrew and Greek being translated into English. And if you get a good encyclopedia set, you can trace, and they will tell you how every alphabet that they use in this language, what time it came into existence. Now, since we found out that J didn't come in until the 17th century, they have eradicated that out of the books. It's hard to find a book. It's hard to find a book. My mother got one. It's about 50 years old. And it tells you, because when we got hip to it, they took it out. See, so I'm saying to you, if you find that they have lied that much, that's why I say happier thou is you will find your enemies lying. And they took it off the market. But there are books that will tell you. So we know that they got the wrong name. And if Christ existed, he wouldn't have a Greek name because he was a Jew. Well, how did he get a Greek name? They got it all messed up. And he definitely wouldn't have an English name. And God ain't never came to the Greeks because he said, I've only dealt with you, Israel. So how did they get these documents other than they might have translated it in that language? But for whole, they never got any oracle from Yahweh, because Yahweh didn't deal with nobody else but us. And else the statement would be wrong. I've not done so with any other. So how did they come in? Were they thieves? What do you think? But I'm saying to you, it's definitely, you got one book that was written in Hebrew and one book that was written in Greek being translated in English. So you work it out for yourself. That's right. You work it out for yourself. So in St. Matthew's it says, according to the gospel, it said the gospel according to St. Matthew. Didn't it say that up there, or am I making it up? That's what it said. So it's according to St. Matthew. According to how, when something is according, it's how he saw it. How he saw it. It didn't say nothing else how God saw it, it was how he saw it. Because we know how a prophet was reared up. And it tells you right at the top of the page, according to how he saw it. The gospel according to what? St. Mark. That's right. So why would the reason why you got 4 gospels is because it's according to each one and what they saw on an individual basis. I mean, I'm not making this up. It's written right on the top. Is it not written? Sure, is it not written there? It's written right there. You can't miss it.
Gospel according to Luke.
That's right. According to Luke. How he saw it. All through the gospel according to St. Luke. So let us go into the book of Acts. We can do it one by one, and we'll see that something took place, and it doesn't make no sense. Something took place, and it doesn't make any sense. So they said the Acts of the Apostles. So the book of Acts evidently, according to what it says here, doesn't give you any other understanding other than it talks about, as it says, the Acts of the Apostles. So, but it doesn't tell you that these things was orchestrated by Yahweh. It didn't say that they were prophets. Because when we look at the book of Jeremiah, Isaiah, it said the book of the prophets. It tells you. It makes it clear what the book's about. And if it doesn't say up there, it tells you exactly that he tells you that this is the word of Yahweh being given to Joel, Amos, but it always makes it clear what is transpiring. That you know, as it says in Deuteronomy chapter 18, it says, when I raise up a prophet from among thy brethren, I will put my word in his mouth. So you get an understanding because you can take that and go through the whole Bible and see that it correlates. Here it's questionable. Who's doing what? But it's affecting everyone. Why? Because everybody will say, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. There's a way that seemeth right. And these ways seem right. It seems right. Why? Because it's easy. Or the law is done away with. God ain't tell you no law was done away with. You said the law was done away with. Yahweh never told you the law was done. Why would Yahweh make a law and disannul a law? We don't have a God that has shortcomings. He's a perfect God. He gave us a perfect way. He gave us the narrow path. the path of rules and regulations. That's right. So, when we go in here, we find discrepancies that should come to mind and make us think. Okay? Let's go into Romans. And what does it say here in the book of Romans, right on top? That's what it says. Okay? Okay? Go ahead.
The epistles of Paul's apostles to the Romans.
So it's Paul. And what does that word mean? What does it mean?
I don't know, it's letters.
That's what it means. So it's telling you what it is. And it's Paul's letters to who?
Letters of Paul.
Yeah, the letters of Paul to who?
To the Romans.
Yes, and Paul was a Benjamite. So he was supposed to have been a very learned man. And he wrote these letters to different groups, and he tells you. And there were others. There were others. You can go all through here. And they tell you on the top of the page who did what. You don't have to guess at it. All you got to do is look. Don't they tell you? Right on the top of the page?
Each letter is going to a
different group. There you go. There you go. Okay, there you go. And it says right on top of the page. You can't miss it. Does it or doesn't it?
It does.
To the Hebrews, same thing. Paul wrote it. It tells you who did what. That's right. That's right. It's right up, and they even have the church of the what? The church of the epistles, right? Don't they? Yeah. The church of the letters. And church is a Greek word that means gathering of the people. You know what I'm saying? These are Greek words. Like Pentateuch means 5. That's all it means is Greek. Synagogue. Ain't nobody had no synagogue on the continent of Africa. That's a Greek word. We had temples and places of worship. That's why we know who the devil's children. Because only one group of people had synagogues, and that's them. So, hey, it ain't no problem. When you know the truth, you know the truth. You're set free from the lie. All you have to do is go in there and read. It tells you. It doesn't mean that these books don't hold information. You can read them, but you got to keep things in the light that it is. They're letters, that's all, but they're not scriptures. What makes a scripture in a letter? What makes one a prophecy in a letter? It's right there. Look it up in the dictionary. They'll verify everything. How can I lie to you if it's written there? And they can get you, like one man says, he reads something, he said, Christ was with God at the beginning. So I said, well, turn to the first page and show me where it is. Well, brother, it's there. You this guy. I said, you mean you can assume that it's there. Is that what you're saying? I said, because it doesn't say he's there. I said, show me his name. There's no more discussion. It's not there. I assume that you robbed the bank. You can make an assumption of anything. Tell me the truth. I'm not saying that he might not be there, but it didn't say he was there, and I'm not going to say it. Show me. Or you don't know nothing. I guess not. It's not written there. So why can't you believe something that's, if you see it written? If you can believe something that you haven't seen, why can't you believe that these are letters? I'm not saying you can't learn anything from it. But I'm saying that the people they're already in their hell. They're not in heaven. Because when you believe a lie, you're in hell. And they know that's a lie. You have some hard-headed people. Do you hear what I'm saying? To tell them the truth, you don't save them. You aggravate them. Because they have to see that they've been misled. They've been had. They've been took. That's right. And I'd rather tell them the truth and they not like me than to tell them a lie and then they find out the truth because they ain't going to like me anymore. I'd rather tell them the truth and have them not like me. Because Yahweh is never going to make his servant what? A liar. He ain't going to let the word of truth hit the ground. That's right. It's going to bear witness and fruit in the days to come that these black people that came in here as slaves are the children of Israel. And they've been taken by being misled by those that said that they know God. And they don't know God. They ain't teaching. If you ain't telling the black American that he's an Israelite and his downfall is because he broke the commandments of Yahweh, then you're wrong. And Yahweh's going to hold you responsible. That's right. They go into church like they're all sanctified. They can call God in and the man get up there and give them a big speech. He ain't taught them nothing. They went in there empty and they come out empty. And they think they sanctified. They going to heaven. They'll never make it. They'll never, because I asked the guy, I said, well, explain to me what grace is about. He couldn't get it off the ground. I said, well, you talking about you don't have to, well, you don't keep no commandments, you don't have to do, no, it's not by works, brother, it's by grace. I said, but explain it to me. So he started, I said, oh, you got to do, oh, no. I said, well, if you got to do something, then it's about works. If you got to do anything, the littlest thing, then is about works. And he can't, he's flipping with his tongue and trying to keep, I said, you mean he's going to give it to you for nothing? I said, that's not true. I said, well, then heaven's going to be filled up with a lot of wicked people. Because they went into the church, called on that name that never existed because there was never no J, and they believe they're going to heaven. Once you find out there was no J, that means there was never nobody in existence. And if you find out his name and it was in Greek, how could his name be Greek?
He wasn't Greek.
That's right. It doesn't make no sense. And you scared to question it because now you out in the cold. All that you believe is down in the drain. Why? Because you believe it. And you've been reading a book. And they sit up there and holler. And that's what they keep on doing. They're going to keep on hollering. These are children of the darkness. The children of the broad path. And they make money. It's a money thing. You can open up a church faster in your community than anything. They'll give you money. They will fund a church. You find a building and foam at the mouth and tell them that something got you down and give it a name, they will believe you and they'll come. You can get them to come to church. You can get them to give you money. All you have to do is tell them a lie. So, I want to thank you and I want to encourage each and every one of us to keep the commandments of Yahweh, because there's nothing greater that I can encourage us to do. I must encourage you to keep the commandments of Yahweh, to love Yahweh with all your mind, with all your body, with all your might. And I want to thank you, Cheryl, for inviting me in your home. And I offer up this prayer. Yahweh, bless this house. Bless this dwelling. May spiritual development, prosperity of the spirit, prosperity. May the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding be here. May it rest and abide here in obedience, that we might keep your law. That we might love you with a perpetual love. Because, Yahweh, you have well nourished us. And you have called us from darkness into light. And you've made what would have been impossible possible. And you have caused us to mount up over the things that would have been difficult. But we called upon your name, Yahweh. And we thank you for remembering us. Because when you look and see the multitudes that have come and gone and never known the truth that we have not learned, we have been privileged We have truly been the chosen. Though the multitudes run a different way, you caused us to come from among them, that we might say truly, we are the children of Yahweh, and we shall abide in his word, and we shall hold fast. And though 10,000 shall rise up against us, if you are with us, then they are as nothing. For you are the majority, and they are the minority. And in their wickedness they shall perish. In the imagination of their evil mind, it shall fall upon them. But Yahweh is merciful to us because he has called us. And he wants us not to fear, but he wants us to go through the fire. He wants us to go through the water. He don't want us to back off of nothing. When he says go forward, let us do just that. For he is our King. He is our Savior. He is our Redeemer. And by him shall we overcome all things. And may we love him with a perpetual love. May we find great nourishment at his table. May we hold our minds stood fast in keeping of his commandments. For as it was written,